Good evening and welcome back to another ramble. I haven't rambled in a minute. We are live on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you are watching this like right away, you can watch the live stream. I'll be live late tonight, so probably past midnight. So just come check out the stream. We're gonna be doing a KQ task, maybe even doing some Mass Callisto. We'll see. But I wanted to talk today on Poll 84 stackable clues. Now, Jagex has officially presented what they want to give us, and one of the things I love about Jagex is they really do listen to the community. They do. They have their thoughts on how the game should go, and they are honestly some of the time pretty stern on that. Like, they want the game to go in a different direction, but when we have enough backlash, they completely are like, you know what, this is your guys' game. We're going to let you control how it goes. So I really appreciate that. I wanted to say that right up front. Now, it does seem, and I read some of the Reddit thread talking about this blog post. Let me just give you the rundown in case you don't know what's going on. I imagine most of you actually do know what's going on. Basically, the 1 hour despawn timer is staying, but it is being pulled. So this is a poll. Now, based on what I've seen on Reddit, it does seem like this will likely pass. And then they are keeping the 5 clue cap that they offered. And they are keeping the progressive unlocks. Those are staying, and we will address those in a second. And then they are getting rid of the skippable tokens. And there's also a master clue warning message. So if you already have your 5 stack and you're about to open a casket, it's going to give you another clue. It's going to be like, whoa, hold the phone, you know? So that's pretty much the gist. The skip tokens removed. They're still going to keep the 5. They're still going to keep the progression. And I want to just share my thoughts. So it does seem like the majority of the community is either for the juggling tech to stay in the game, or they just don't know enough about it and they're pretty indifferent. Obviously there are people that are against it and they want clues to go back to the original, how they were originally. But it doesn't seem like that's the popular stance on the community, which I can appreciate. So that's cool. Now, one of the problems is I had imagined that Jagex wanted I imagine they wanted to get rid of the juggling because they saw it as maybe a bad look for the game or something. And they were offering, instead of the juggling, a form of stackable clues, which, was going to be a huge nerf to what we had right now. But that was, just part of their vision, was like, we got to take 5 fucking huge leaps back. You know what I mean? So this is the kind of concern now, is we're keeping everything we have right now, which is juggle tech, which is so busted if you've ever done it. And now we have this weird, fucking horribly careful tiptoe into stackable clues, which I think is so weird. And the reason I think it's weird is because it just doesn't feel like it's that good. It's not that powerful. In fact, if you are starting off a new account, you're not juggling 5, you're juggling fucking 2. And you have to do actually a lot of clues. I want to actually bring up this completion for the clue cap increase. Again, you have to do, so if you wanted to stack 5 hard clues, which is a very popular tier when people are doing Slayer, you have to do 50. Actually, wait, how does this work? So you start with 2, then you get a mimic for 3, and then you get 4, and then 5. Okay. So you would have to do 50 fucking hards just to start stacking 3, because you're not going to have completed a mimic by that point on most accounts, unless you got really lucky on your first elite or master and you did some of those. But we're talking, you're going to be stacking 2 for a fucking hot minute. So what the fuck is the point? You're just going to juggle. Everyone's just going to fucking juggle anyway. So my concern really is that if we're going to keep the juggling and everybody is on board with it, why not go balls to the fucking wall and just go crazy on the cap? Just raise the cap massively. I just don't get it, because it feels like what we're having right now, juggling is going to stay the absolute dominant meta, and this is just a slight little convenience, I guess. Oh, here you go, you get a stack a feud, and then you're gonna end up juggling them, but we're gonna allow you to have a few. It's just weird. It's just why can't we just raise the fucking cap massively? if we're going to keep the juggling, then just go to town. Like, honestly, this is my realistic response to this. I would be fully okay because, again, I'm going to preface this, because we're keeping the juggling, most likely, that could not be the case. I'm not going to lie, I am fully 100% down with unlimited stacked. I'm not even kidding. I'm genuinely not kidding when I say that I would be okay at this point with unlimited stacks and the juggle tech. Seriously, I am actually at that point, because it seems like clues have already been massively devalued to the point where the stackable system, for those that are really into clues, is not even really going to be utilized. Yes, it'll add a little bit of convenience. If you're at DKs, you get the 5 juggled, or the 5 scroll box ones, and you can go juggle them later. But I'm like, at this point, just fucking just do the unlimited, honestly. Now, maybe that's a little bit extreme, and maybe we could just raise the cap to like 25 or something. But right now, nothing really is changing by this, except for a slight extra bit of convenience when you're at your like Hellhound task or whatever, and you're just not going to be juggling it. In my personal opinion, I just think at this point, just raise the cap massively. I'm even okay with the unlimited stack, simply because we're not doing any sort of reversion or nerf to the current system. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? Everybody just fucking loves the conveniences of clues, and they just want to grind clues all day. And people don't like a lot of the systems we have in place. And so I'm just like, dude, I don't know, just at this point, just fucking send the whole thing. And if that's too extreme for the unlimited, make it at least 10. And honestly, just give it to everybody. Like, just give it to everybody. I just feel like this weird progression where it's like tiptoeing into, you start with 2, you barely get 3, 4 months into your account. Seriously, I didn't complete 50 hard clues on this account, and I'm a content creator that knows what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm obsessed with clues. Genuinely, it took me 4 months to probably have hit 50 hard clues. The average person plays a third of how much I play. That's a fucking year. Like, we're talking a fucking year to stack 3. Oh my God. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? Just give it, make this way higher, honestly. And I would even be okay with just the unlimited. And the unlimited is simply because, like, just send it. It's just like, just allow you to just perpetually stack up this scroll box loaded with clues, And if you want to juggle them, as soon as you start juggling them, you do have that hour timer going on. So it's a little bit like, okay, when are we going to open this huge, scroll box loaded with clues? Because as soon as you open them, you can start juggling, but then you're going to have to go through the juggling process. You know what I mean? So that's my personal take. I want to share it. There's probably going to be some of you that are like, what the hell is wrong with Sebe? What's going on? But that is honestly how I feel. I just think at this point, everybody's simply okay. Not everybody. It seems like on Reddit, the majority of the people are totally okay with the massive devaluement of clues that was done to them a year ago. And everybody wants to keep the systems. They understand that clues are much more fun that way. And at this point, I'm just like, go fucking full send, and just go unlimited on the scroll boxes. So agree, unlimited clue stack. I just think at this point, if we're not going to go back down the road of going back to the old days where this is a distraction and diversion, you're going to keep all this and everyone's like, woo, yeah, we keep it juggling. Dude, we are living in a different era then. That means the community really just doesn't fucking care about this sort of distraction diversion element to clues. And they just want to do a bunch of clues and they don't want to have any inconveniences to it. So I think what we currently have now is a weird middle ground that will eventually be addressed 3 or 4 years down the line. And I'm just saying, rip the fucking Band-Aid off right now. Just rip it off. This seems like such a weird thing to have a 5 stack after you've done all these progression things. It's just so stupid. It's stupid in my opinion. So anyway, I'm prepared to see all your guys' comments, and there's probably going to be some of you that are angry against me. And there's probably some of you that are like, maybe he has a point, and we've already devalued the clues and everybody just wants to have fun these days. It's 2025. It's almost halfway through 2025. And genuinely, how I see this is going to become such a nuisance if this comes into the game as proposed. People are just going to be like, why? People are already thinking like, what is this? Why is the cap so little? That we are just going to endlessly beg Jagex for the next 3 to 4 to 5 years just saying, Jagex, can you just fucking rip the Band-Aid off and just let us stack unlimited? That's how I feel. Because that happens with a lot of things. We get this weird middle ground, and then we beg and beg and beg and beg and beg, and they don't seem to listen to us. And then eventually, finally, we can get what we actually wanted. So my personal take. Let me know what you guys think. And there will be another ramble coming out soon because I want to make a bank video on this account, which, what just happened? There we go. I will be making a bank video on Squat Cam. He's pimped out. I don't want to leak too much, but you guys can go check out the live stream, as I said below. Also, all of these rambles are on Spotify, and Spotify, I'm trying to grow the Save A rambles on Spotify. So if you guys go down in the description, and pinned in the comments is the show link, this episode link, in fact, and it has video. It's great. There's 0 ads because it's not a monetized show yet. And it'll probably take a year and a half or something to actually get the analytics to get monetized. But if you guys will help me with that, I will greatly, greatly appreciate it. And I will also catch you guys in the next one. Peace.